While it's good to be content where you are, we shouldn't lose our expectancy. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. There will always be forces trying to convince us to settle where we are. On a regular basis, you have to stir your faith up. God hasn't brought you this far to leave you. What He started in your life, He is going to finish. You may not see how it's going to work out, but God has a way. When you believe, the Creator of the universe goes to work. Paul said here in Galatians 6, "Don't get tired of doing what's right, for in due season you will reap if you don't give up." You may have had the addiction for 20 years. You've tried your best again and again to break it with no success. The good news is this is your season. This is your year to be free. Or maybe you struggled in your finances. You can't seem to get ahead. You take one step forward, 2 steps backwards. Let this phrase sink down into your spirit. Due season is here. Promotion is coming. Good breaks are coming. Lack is not your destiny. Constantly struggling, barely getting by is not the end of your story. Keep believing, keep expecting, keep honoring God. Abundance is headed your way. In this due season year, your cup is going to run over. See, sometimes you need these words of faith and victory spoken over your life. Words have creative power. If you'll let them take root in your spirit, they can help ignite your dreams, ignite your faith, ignite the potential on the inside. Your mind may try to talk you out of it. You can't figure out how it's going to happen. That's okay. That's not your job. Your job is to believe. Your job is to say, "Yes, God, this is for me today. I believe that it's my due season year." A lot of people these days struggle with depression. It's like a dark cloud follows them around. They haven't been able to shake it in the past. It looks like that's the way it's always going to be. But the difference is, you've come into a due season. God is going to lift you out of that pit. Set your feet upon a rock and put a new song in your heart. In due season, chains are broken. Depression cannot stay. Sadness has to go. You're going to feel a new sense of joy, a new happiness, a new passion for your life. When we live with expectancy, it gets God's attention. When we go through the day saying, "Lord, I believe this is my due season year. This is my year to accomplish dreams, to break free from this depression. This is my year to meet the right people. This is my year to get healthy and whole." We're doing exactly what this lady did. Your faith can cause God to stop in His tracks. What I find interesting is Jesus didn't heal everyone around Him that day. There were other sick people in the crowd, other people that had needs, but He passed on by. The difference was this lady with the issue of blood released her faith. It started in her thinking. All through the day, we should have this expectancy. You have to keep talking to yourself the right way. In other words, if you're facing an illness, you can't afford to go around saying, "I don't think I'll ever get better. I've had it for so long. I think this is going to be the end of me." No. Start talking to yourself like this lady. "This is my year to get well. God is restoring health back unto me. The number of days He will fulfill." If you're struggling in your finances, not, "I'll never have enough. I'll never get ahead." No, this is my year to come into overflow, to be debt-free, to lend and not borrow. Blessings are chasing me down. Favor surrounds me like a shield. Whatever I touch prospers and succeeds. If you're lonely, not any of this, "I'll never meet the right person. I'm too old. I don't have a good personality. I'm not that attractive." Zip that up. This is my year for divine connection. God is directing my steps, bringing the right people across my path. Or maybe you've been through a disappointment last year. You've had a setback, and you could easily come into the new year with a poor old me mentality, thinking, oh, just my luck. I always get these bad breaks. No, turn it around. This is your year to see beauty for ashes. What was meant for your harm, God is going to use for your advantage. The best part of your life is right up in front of you. You may have had a setback, but really it was a setup for God to do something better. Zechariah said, if you will be a prisoner of hope, God will pay you back twice for what you lost. This is your year to see double. This is your year for vindication, for restoration, for new beginnings. Now get your mind going in the right direction. Start talking to yourself the right way. This is one reason that we don't see God's best. Our mind is neutral, like the other people that were around Jesus that day that didn't get healed. We're not thinking anything bad, but we're not releasing our faith. There's no expectancy. Faith is what causes God to work. I've found you can be at the right place at the right time, but because you are in the wrong frame of mind, you'll miss God's best. This lady was at the right place at the right time. Jesus was passing by, but unlike the people, she was in the right frame of mind, expecting things to change, expecting healing, expecting a breakthrough. She saw it come to pass. Today, you are at the right place. You are at the right time. God destined you to be hearing this. 2 out of 3 are already good, but remember, 3 is the deal breaker. Are you in the right frame of mind? Do you believe this is your due season? Do you believe it's your year for favor, for increase, for restoration, for new beginnings? Jesus is passing by right now, so to speak. He is not moved by our needs. There are plenty of needs. He is concerned about our needs, but he is moved by our faith. It's easy to think, well, the medical report says I'm not going to get well. My business is never going to make it. This legal situation is never going to resolve. No, shake off the doubt. Shake off the negativity. You're at the right place. You're at the right time. Now all you've got to do is get in the right frame of mind. Do like this lady. Lord, I want to thank you. This is my due season year. This is my year to step into leadership, to finish school, to break the addiction, to come into overflow, to meet the person of my dreams. If you'll keep saying to yourself, thank God in advance, you'd better get ready. God is going to show out in your life. He is going to take you where you could not go on your own, opening doors that no man can shut, connecting you to the right people. He is going to restore what you thought was over and done. It's going to happen suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the ordinary, to where you look up and say, wow, I didn't see that coming. Most of the time when we hear that phrase, I didn't see that coming, it's about the negative. It's about a bad break. I lost my main client. I didn't see that coming. I got a bad medical report. I didn't see that coming. Or my friend walked out on me, left me for somebody else. I didn't see that coming. But in this due season year, God is going to turn it around. I just got a promotion. Didn't see that coming. My child made straight A's in school. Didn't see that coming. Moved into a beautiful new house. Didn't see that coming. My health turned around. I feel better than ever. Didn't see that coming. You remember that old country song that said, let's give them something to talk about. This year, God is going to give you something to talk about. He is going to make you an example of His goodness. That lady that was healed after 12 years of being sick, I'm sure everywhere she went, let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. She had something to talk about. Everyone, you can look back in your life and see a time where God made a way when you didn't see a way. He put you at the right place. You met that person and fell in love. He protected your child from that accident. He gave you the promotion even though you weren't the most qualified. He turned that problem around. He has given you something to talk about. But can I tell you, you haven't seen anything yet. What God has in this due season year is going to be bigger, better, more rewarding than anything you've ever seen in the past. The scripture says, when you honor God in your life, when you keep Him first place, His blessings will chase you down and overtake you. We've all had negative things overtake us. Life happens, but don't get stuck expecting the negative. This year, God is going to turn the table. Good breaks chasing you down. Favor, healing, opportunity come chasing after you. One definition of the word overtake is to catch by surprise. When it says God's blessings will overtake you, you could say God is going to surprise you suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the ordinary. A good break, a healing, a promotion, a divine connection. The scripture talks about how God has blessings stored up for those that love the Lord. There are blessings that have your name on them right now and that are stored up. There is promotion stored up for you, healing stored up, that baby you've dreamed about. It's stored up. God has already destined it to be yours. But if you never believe, if you think this is not going to happen for me, I never get any good breaks, or God would never bless me, I've made too many mistakes, I could never pay my house off. Are you kidding? That's out of the question. That kind of thinking will keep you from God's best. Why don't you try a different approach and say, God, I believe you want to be good to me. I believe you have surprises in my future. I believe this is my due season year. When you live with this expectancy, God can give you something to talk about.